What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll Live. This week, me and Tom are getting it started here. We're waiting on Bobby and our friend Michelle to join us, but they should be here shortly. So we're going to go ahead and get this kicked off. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about long-term kind of health care or health issues. What happens when you're down and having to heal something for a long period of time. But let's get into a couple intros. I'm Shawn, a C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident 18 years ago now. And why don't you go ahead and kick it off, Tom? Oh, I don't have my little thing on there. All right.
What's up?
Here we go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tom Conway.
And I didn't.
C5,
Why is that? Hold on. What is going on?
Sorry
here,
for all
dude?
sorry for all the headspace today.
That's what's going on. I'm like, dude, what is happening? Dude?
Thought I was taking some crazy pills. I'm like, am I flipped or something? But I was.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
No, dude, don't apologize. It's just we're live, baby. This is what you guys ask for. And yeah, like I was saying, I'm Tom Conway, C56, quadriplegic. I've been paralyzed for 24 years, going on 25. And yeah, we chilling. What's up, Grandma? Hi, Velma. Thanks for shouting us out, telling everyone to smash that like button. What up?
Yeah.
Celtic Bear. What's up, everybody in the chat?
Yeah. Tim, what's up, man? Patrick, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining, everybody.
Sorry if I couldn't see a couple names, like my chat's kind of covered up.
Right. What is going on with all of this right now, dude?
I'm invisible.
Bro, I don't know what is happening with all of my screens right now.
No, don't worry about it, man. Just take your time. It's no pressure.
Everything was set up.
What's up, Ken? And yeah, we're talking about kind of like continuing with last week's discussion. We decided it's kind of a poignant topic. Recovering from long-term injury. If you go down with a pressure sore, how do you cope? How do you deal? What's your mechanism? Like a lot of us deal with this initially in our rehab. It's usually like a few months down and out. Very long-term recovery for spinal cord injury.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it? So we're gonna talk about some different aspects of that. Go ahead, Shawn.
I was gonna say one of the reasons why we are talking about that today is because Bobby, who's waiting to join us right now. The reason why he's even waiting to join us is because he is stuck in bed right now waiting for his wife to get back from an appointment so he can get out of bed for his 2-hour window of the day that he can be in his chair to join us for the show. So that's what Bobby's dealing with right now, 3 to 6 months of that. And, 2 hours a day at most, 2 to 3 hours like in his chair, which sucks. So we're going to talk about, what you do when you have to deal with that, like when you're down for 6 months, a year, something like that.
Quad life, thanks. Bro. What is up, dude? What up, Peter?
Why?
Peter Petrelli, Peter Prosciutti. Sorry, man. I just got heroes on the brain. If anyone catches that reference, that's what your name always reminds me of.
Yeah.
I don't know if my internet's bad right now, dude, but like, I'm sorry if it is, you guys. I feel like I've been having some internet issues on my end because it seems like a lot of my video calls are poor quality. But we're here, we're doing it. Okay, dude. So I'm gonna ask you, Shawn, since it's just us here. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
We're stuck with the regulars for now. What up, Ev? Oh, snap! Ev in the building. It's my sister. Big shout out. How have you dealt with any long-term injuries following your initial rehab? Any kind of serious pressure sores, anything that put you down and out for a long period of time?
So to be honest, the longest I've really been down for is like a month or so, with minor pressure sores, and even that was kind of hard for me to deal with, like just mentally everything, spending so much extra time in bed, trying to sleep on my stomach, which was just a nightmare.
Yeah. No.
stuff like that. Just all those things. And honestly, that was only a month. So I'm really feeling for our friend Bobby right now, and having to do that long. And that's another reason why early on in my injury, one of the options was tendon surgery, which like Kaylee, who's been on the show, has done and stuff. And that's another reason I didn't want to do that, because it's the same type of thing. You lose an arm for 6 months or like whatever, like. And to me, like anything like that, like if I lose, like I don't know, it's hard. It's hard to deal with. But for me personally, being able to continue to socialize. Oh, hold on, we got Michelle joining back in here. Or gonna be joining us. Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Thanks
How
for
are
joining
ya?
us.
I'm good. How are you?
We're great. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
For anybody in the chat, everybody watch it. This is a really great friend of the Live to Roll family, great personal friend who's been on a couple cruises together, going to some Triumph Foundation events, and she's got an amazing family, amazing woman herself. But Michelle Altamirano, do you maybe want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Michelle Altamirano. I'm 33 years post-injury. I have a C6-7 injury, and I've been at this for a long, long time. I'm married, and I have a 25-year-old daughter that I had 8 years post-injury. And I'm one of the Triumph ambassadors, and I do the Oxnard, Santa Barbara groups, and the women's group. Thanks for having me.
And Michelle's been doing this like for a while, since she's been in the game. Like she started Wings a long time ago, which is kind of like big. Got the ball rolling for the foundation of the nonprofit presence we have here in Southern California. I mean, credit where credit is due for Andrew and the Triumph, but he picked up a mantle that Michelle started a long time ago, which is really, really cool. So just wanted to shout that out and tell everyone how amazing you are and how lucky we are to have such an awesome guest on the show. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I first met Michelle when I was in rehab back, and you were doing Wings and stuff. And yeah, so that's awesome. Thank you for everything, and all the knowledge you're gonna bring today.
Hope so.
And in the chat, DJ, what's up, man? You said you have a stage 4 pressure sore, which is about as bad as they get. Yeah, so we're here talking about today, man. We're talking about pressure sores and kind of long-term recovery and how you cope. So feel free to ask any questions. Again, like I'm not really an expert on pressure sores, just some experience with. They're about to talk about our experiences, and if you have any experiences you want to share too, be a benefit to anybody. So please, feel free to share whatever you want. Really appreciate it, man. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and also Wayne in the chat has a stage 3 sore for close to 4 months. We're close early in my injury. Yeah, so.
Daryl,
what's up, Daryl? But yeah, lots of people dealing with these things.
So right when you joined in, Shawn was just talking a little bit about his longest experience down in bed, which is about a month, and his struggle with that.
And so I've been really fortunate, and like Bobby, and that's why I was so surprised to hear with Bobby's issue. But like his is a surgical issue, so it's different. But that's like Bobby taught me early on: watch your skin, be careful, pressure relief. Make sure you're always on top of that stuff. And I've been on top of that. I make sure, if I'm sitting for too long, and I luckily do, like, it sucks, but I get nerve pain and sensation in my butt and my back, especially when I've been sitting for a while. And so I know when that's building up that I need to move, I need to get off my butt, I need to shift, I need to do something. And so I've been super fortunate enough to, stave off any bad sores or anything like that. But I worry because I could bump myself just like Bobby did, end up with something that needs a surgical, implication, and then all of a sudden I'm down for months and I don't know. So that it worries me. But what I was saying before, what I even did for like that month mentally was, besides just Netflix and just trying to like movies and stuff, I did try to stay somewhat social, like talk to people on the phone, text, um, just at least not completely isolate myself. That was the one thing that I know helped for sure, because when you are at your house, like, it can be isolating. So even just calling friends, family, that kind of helped me. So one thing.
I just want to say, unfortunately, happens to the best of them. You can be doing everything right and pressure reliefs and diet and all of that. And sometimes just a bad fall or a bad transfer or something happens, and there it is.
Yeah.
I think, key is you got to be on top of it. You can't let it go, because you know how fast it goes from 0 to 10, as far as size and severity. And
It can
and
happen within an hour,
unfortunately, yeah,
20 minutes.
those cases, yeah. I mean, fortunately, pressure sores haven't been my issue personally, but with the people that I've talked to and dealt with. And unfortunately, the best thing is to stay off your butt. And I think that's just the hardest thing for everybody, to be forcefully immobile and have to stay in bed and lay off of it and all of that. And and depending on how long you've got to be down. I had a series of broken knees a few years back. I broke my right fib 3 times in the span of 3 years. So with every break, the first 3 months, I had to be immobile, in bed, leg elevated, soft cast, don't twist, don't blah, blah, blah. And the first time it was like, okay, oh well. I had been 25 years injury free, okay, thank God, it could be worse. Hairline fracture, good, dealt with it, and it got better. And the thing is, with healing, you have to keep inflammation down. Because as long as there's inflammation, if you're not elevating or relieving pressure, that doesn't let you heal, because that inflammation is constant pressure right there to that area. And instead of allowing it to heal freely and all of that inflammation just makes it even harder. It constricts blood flow and oxygen flow and all of that you need. So it's challenging. And how do you do it? How do you deal with it? Well, you're probably very angry in the very beginning and just pissed off because you have to do that. And then you go through, okay, bargaining with God, please, let me heal. I promise to stay off, I promise to do better, blah, blah, blah. And then depression sets in. It's like, damn it, it's taking too long. It's not healing fast enough. And of course it never does, it never heals fast enough for us. But that's a tough lesson in patience. And you just got to figure out, get through it. Tears, yelling, crying, sleeping.
And accepting your situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Accepting your situation, but also, realizing and understanding that if you follow the right steps and you do the right things, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you will get out of it, and there will probably be a period of recovery just to get your, activity back. And, once you're up in your chair, once you're back to your regular routine, there will be a period of time where you will have to transition back to that, even after your wound is healed, because, I'm sure it takes it just does take a toll being down a considerable amount of time. Your body is going to change, your energy level is going to change. You'll experience a lot of change. So understanding recovery starts after recovery, but seeing the light, knowing that there is a point where, hopefully you can get over the hump and get back to more normal behavior. But it's tough. It's tough.
What's up, Bobby? Well, want to welcome you into the
Welcome.
show here.
The man, the
We were
myth, the
just
legend himself.
Hi guys, thanks so much.
Okay.
My good friend Michelle joining us, my 1 day apart injury buddy. So we were
Yeah.
injured
I didn't
one
know
day.
that.
Yeah, or like 2 days, like one or two, one of those. We can't keep track. It's been so long.
1 or 2.
That's
I was
But-
Saturday, he was Monday.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
so,
interesting. That's
hey,
crazy.
thanks a
Wow.
lot, guys. You know what you were
Yeah.
saying, Tom, and I know last week we got into what was going on with me, but yeah, I am down you know, 20, 21, 22 hours a day on my side. And so just the 2 hours that I'm up, or 2.5 hours, it's like by that end of the 2 hours, I'm just like, whoo, I'm getting exhausted. I'm tired. I can feel it in my arms. I can feel it in my neck.
Yeah.
And I can also, you know, you're getting tight in the legs. I got physical therapy coming, but it's only, you know, a half an hour, 3 times a week. And it's just not enough compared to what we used, you know, or what I used to do when
You're used to.
you're on the go, transferring, exercising, and moving a lot. So it's just not the same. So yeah, definitely after recovering from something like this, it is definitely hard to get back into the groove, and um, your routine is out of sorts because you were dealing with a different routine and laying around. So it's like, wow, I can't imagine when I get busy what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
well,
other parts start to hurt as well from being in bed, you know. Your bed stops being comfortable. You know, have trouble trying to find a comfortable spot. How can I lay that I'm not going to hurt myself more? And then you get the cricks in the neck, and you get, you know, everything else starts to get sore and hurt, and it just takes a while. You got to at least do stretching on what you can do, you know, keep the neck, the arms, you know, moving. It helps a little bit to do that. But it's one thing when it's a few days, but when it's day after week, and sometimes months, it's very wearing on your psyche and self-esteem and everything. Everything takes a toll.
so on that note, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay healthy? How do you stay positive in the midst of such harrowing stuff? Because it's just what you said. It's very debilitating. You know, like you aren't only dealing with like the pain and the, you know, difficulty of the wound, but like other parts of your body start to get affected, and other parts of you starts to change, and you know, like then there's the mental side of it. Um, what what do you do? And I'm saying that kind of rhetorically. I don't think there is any one thing you
Yeah.
can do, but it's kind of a combination of a lot of different stuff. And also kind of accepting like, hey, it's like it's just shitty. It sucks. Things are gonna suck a little bit. You know, we'll do what we can to kind of curate, stay healthy, and you know, curate the best mental health we can in the situation. But hey, sometimes stuff is really tough.
Yeah.
You just gotta deal.
It's a mind game. Absolutely a mind game, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
feel like the
gotta, you
mind.
know, psych yourself up. Nobody's gonna do it for you. And you
Yeah.
know, you go, like I said, from praying to bargaining with God and everything, and really reflecting. You know, after the third time I broke my leg, I'm like, damn, what is the universe trying to tell me? What am I missing here? Is there a message, a lesson I'm supposed to learn here, and I'm just not getting it? Oh, that's why I'm here for a third time and everything. And you know, at the end of the day, it's like, heck, I'm 25. I'm 33 years post injury now. Damn, you know, it's been a long time, and you know, through ups and downs and everything, I'm still here and relatively healthy and going and living a productive life. And you know, you got to count those blessings when things are dark. Absolutely,
Yeah.
count the little
That's
blessings.
that's a very big thing. What
Yeah.
it's something my mom taught me from when I think first time I really understood the concept was when I was like a teenager. But so she would always say, you know, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling like having a really hard time, like that's when you need to count your blessings, and you know, take a little while to reflect on the things that you do have in your life to be grateful for and that make you feel good, and you know, like those can provide solace and provide some relief, you know, when times are really down, because it just gives us perspective, and you know, helps us remember like, hey, things are shitty, but at least we still got this good stuff going on in our life. You know, so that's very, very important. Just wanted to touch
See,
on
at
that.
least Bobby's got a nice little puppy there to keep him
I know
occupied and busy.
Yeah, pets really brighten up your
That
day.
can
I can
help.
tell
That
you.
really mentally, it really like yeah, no, that's good.
Especially
And
if they hop on the bed with you.
And,
Daryl said it too in the chat.
Go
You
for
know,
it.
support systems are key. You know, recovery, especially long term. You know, it's just a fact. Now, establishing that, finding that, it's different for everybody. Unfortunately, not everyone can just have the best support and exactly what they need when they need it. That being said, it does come down to the individual to a certain extent to advocate for themselves, to speak to their doctors, speak to whatever medical facilities they're at when they get their initial treatment, and be like, hey, if I'm going to be successful, if we're going to prevent this from getting worse, if I'm going to make it through this, well, I need some support, I need some help. Damn it, and it absolutely should be provided. Like, pressure sores are, I think, the number one cause of death for individuals with paralysis. It's like stuff like that getting infected and getting worse and causing multiple complications that can put you down. And the support is just pivotal. Wound care, physical therapy. And again, I wish I could say all of this and just be like, if you ask for it, you're gonna get it. Like, I don't know. I, have an amazing mom, amazing dad, amazing sister and brother, and people in my life that love me, that will ensure that I get the kind of support that I need if I end up in a situation like that. But advocate for yourself. Like, demand it. Say that you need it, because it's the only way to get it. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And the way the healthcare system is now, if you don't ask for it, you're never gonna get it, because they won't give it to you. So don't be afraid to ask when it comes to this kind of stuff, because it really is a matter of life and death. The support and the help you get in your recovery, in your treatment.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah, Bobby,
and getting back to one of the things you said, Tom, is, getting through it, you just take one step at a time, one day at a time. There's a lot of breathing, a lot of patience. Kind of, the way I've been relating to this is going back to when I got hurt, and just, there was only so much I can do. Rely on your support system. Like DJ was saying, Daryl out there was saying that, having a good support system is key. Definitely right. But another key thing is also make sure you don't wear your support system out. It can be done very easily. And that means, asking over and over the same thing maybe, or also beating them up. You're frustrated. You're laying in bed, frustrated, can't get up. You've been staring at the same four walls for a while, and that person comes in and they're like just trying to help, and try not to snap at them, be rude to them. It can be done very easily. And I've seen it out there in this world too many times from other people that do it, that I've always just said, I cannot ever do that to my support. What I've seen some other people and the way they treat their support is just like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Anything but that, because they're there. It's not their fault, and it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. You got to work as a team, and that's how I say it, and that's key, and whenever my wife's like, yeah, you're so patient, thank you. And I'm like, it's a team effort. And I'm not going to say it's perfect. And, some days she's rolling her eyes at me going, oh my God. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. She's like, it's not your fault.
Please and thank you goes a long way, showing appreciation for your support system, whoever's there, doing things for you. And you're gonna blow it. You're gonna, explode one day on them and be nasty or whatever, but then you got to roll it back, and you got to stop and say, take a minute, and then next time, you know what, I'm really sorry, I lost it, I'm frustrated, I'm blah blah blah, this is going on, and I'm sorry that it had to be you. But unfortunately, it's whoever's closest to you that a lot of times is a recipient of our little blow ups, and it happens, and it's natural, but then you've got to be the bigger person, and you have to apologize and take responsibility for being a jackass.
And oh no, I'm trying to correct my camera, and I'm almost losing my laptop off the bed. We're good though. A couple water bottles down, no harm, no foul.
Can I just make one more quick comment, piggyback on what Bobby said, that it brought him back to when he was first injured? Absolutely. But the thing you have to think of, that way back then, how terrified you were, and how you thought you weren't even going to make it, past a couple of months. You knew nothing about this new injury or anything. And now, 10, 15, 20 years later, it's like, wow, I've grown, I've matured, I've learned, you know, I know that I'm going to get through it because I got through that first time. And this is nothing compared to that first time. So, you got to sometimes give yourself kudos that, you know what, you made it that first time. You're going to make it this time too. Can't give up.
Yeah.
I also just want to piggyback
Definitely.
off what you were saying a minute ago. I mean, anybody that knows me, my sister in the chat, will be like, "Oh God!" Like I'm sure she overheard some of the times, like me and my mom were going back and forth with each other, and she's like helping me with my care, and we're just like I'm a teenage son, like you're just like the worst like thing in the world at times, and the things like we would say to each other, um, like in those moments when I'd be snapping at my caregiver, I'd be like just saying some things that I know is gonna like piss my mom off, and she'd say things that she knows is gonna piss me off, and learning to, like sometimes like just shut the f up. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's okay, to like think those things in your head, like whatever gives you that catharsis, like but you don't need to voice it. You don't need to like say it out loud, especially if it's gonna bother someone or hurt somebody. Learning that took some time for me. Definitely took my teenage years, and I can still you know say some things I definitely regret at times when it comes to that. But I learned a lot. Also, it's easier to do it and like bicker and like say things like that with your family members. Don't worry, I won't spill all your secrets. Thanks, Em. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, you got a couple. Um, you know, I had my family as my caregivers for majority of my life, first like 16, 17 years of being injured. And then I started transitioning to outside caregivers. And outside caregivers don't put up with that shit. They won't,
Exactly.
nor should they. So like you gotta learn patience real quick. You gotta learn to shut your mouth real quick, especially if you're in a bad mood and you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and like you just can't do that. I always make a point, even if I'm feeling funky and feeling in a bad mood, to always be respectful to my caregivers, and always be grateful and thankful for the care they come and help me out. Even if like I'm not thinking or I'm not feeling it at the time, I think it's something important. We got to be grateful and appreciative of those who are willing to take the time out of their day to come and help us out. So.
Sometimes it takes somebody to get back in your face, to, snap you out of it and realize, hey, you know what? I really need to,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
be
I'm very
more
lucky. Like,
respectful of this person, and it just, yeah, sometimes you need that kick in the ass just to, hey, wake up.
absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
so lucky that my mom and dad like instilled, like respect everybody, be respectful and polite, and positive with everybody, because it is something learned. It's not something. I mean, especially when you're hurting, especially when you're sick, especially when your
Yeah.
mental health is just in the dumps. It's really easy to just be negative and react, irrationally. And it's not, you're not usually not even meaning to be that way. You're not meaning to hurt people, but it's just like how you feel. You're like, I'm hurting, feel better if like everybody's hurting around me, whatever that physical, that mentality is. Um, it's
You know,
just,
I do have something that I use, and feel free to use it. It's nothing special, but basically, you kind of know when you're going to have those snap points, and you're in that kind of mood, and
Yeah.
you can just
Yeah.
tell them to come in and like, hey, how are you? And you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Hello, I am fucking in this bed, and I am not. You're going to have. I do, and that's for me. And so I've just kind of a long time ago just learned to tell them like, hey, I am not having a good day. And
Exactly.
so there's nothing you can do. I'm just going to try to keep my cool, but I am in a very
Yeah.
bad mood today. Let me have
So,
this day. And,
yeah,
mm,
for my wife and people that have helped me over time, they're like, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. Is there anything I can do? And I said, no, I just said that.
thank-
It's just I'm just going to grind through this and get through it myself. and that's how how I've always felt. And I'm gonna do my best that tomorrow won't be like this. I won't let it linger. Just let me have this gosh darn moment, because I need it and I want to be pissed and I don't want to do it to you. So I'm gonna be pissed all day today. And they're like, okay, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
And so they leave me alone a little bit more, and they know that, my answers might be short that day. And they're like, sorry, you having I know, thank you, but it's not going to help. It's just going to be me grinding through whatever I need to. And always the next day I wake up and just say, all right, got that through. That's out of my system, and I don't want to stay there. And I allow myself not to. I just allow myself to have that kind of a day, that you're pissed off, that you're laying around, or this is bugging you. It's okay. We're all human.
Yeah.
And on the same note, it could be your caregiver, whoever it is, who's having a bad day, and the last thing they want to be doing is cleaning up after you or doing whatever it is, and they're maybe going through something and all of that, and they might need the space and might hey, you know what, I'm just gonna chill out here for a while. You stay there, I'm here. I'll get what you need, but just don't bug me. So they need their space as well. Yeah. And just kind of going back on the mental health aspect of it all. I mean, like I said, the couple of times that I have been laid up, I think for me, I do tend to deal with some depression. And there comes a moment where I'm in my darkest days. And even though I have an excellent support system and people around me, it's hard to reach out and talk to them and really tell them what's going on. Sometimes you're just in that really dark space and you've got to feel it and you've got to go through it. You've got to go through those emotions and get them out, and then luckily, hopefully, somebody will call or you'll see a sign that just kind of, gives you that motivation to reach out to one person, that's, what it takes, but you really have to push yourself. Otherwise those dark days, get longer and longer and harder, and not healthy at all, because depression also affects your healing and your well-being. So,
and that's when it's good to reach out to a good friend. And, luckily Michelle and I have had each other for a long time to rely on each other when we are in these kind of moods, and to help one another get through some of them. And that's, another thing I recommend. Find somebody that does understand, somebody in this caliber. I know that maybe some of you out there might join us for that kind of support, and that's great. And that's what we're here for. But it's also kind of great to have somebody that you can just get on the phone and just say, hey.
Yeah. Other than your significant other, because we have awesome spouses, Bobby and I do. But sometimes there's just certain things that, not that I can't share, but it's just, what? He's not going to get it. I'm going to talk to Bobby. Bobby gets it,
I know everybody needs a Bobby or a Luz in their life.
Somebody in your life who, you can do that. Yeah, and sometimes, I don't know, as much as wonderful as family is and all that, sometimes it's just, you need somebody outside of the circle, to kind of, dump on or, hey. I tell them I'm cheaper than therapy, so.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. It's good to have somebody to talk to. And, somebody else that can relate to the issues you're dealing with is always nice. So.
Yeah, and we talk about support groups a lot.
Sorry.
That can just be part of the mental health, like therapy part of it. If you can put yourself in some support groups, like you would generally find, I guarantee to find some people that have been through this, dealt with it, or are currently dealing with it, that you could,
Absolutely.
then, kind of really go through it together. It's not easier to go through with someone who's going through it too, talk to them, or who has gone through it, just because, again,
really
you have a constant reminder of someone who's found the light at the end of the tunnel, is on the other side. So it can help remind you that, that's over the hill, but also like the tips, the tricks, the knowledge, just like having that person to talk to that truly understands like the shitty situation you're dealing with. It just makes it easier. Like, you don't feel as alone. You don't feel, so alone in it. That's just the bottom line.
Even if you just join the group to listen, if you're not ready to share your experience and what's
Yeah.
exactly happening with you, just listening to other people and their advice and what's worked for them, because everybody's different. And the thing is, there is no easy way through it, through the emotional garbage and all of that. You have to deal with it. You've got to get through it like everything else, in life. You don't go from A to Z in one jump. You got to do it, as Bobby said, a day at a time. And yeah, really need to rely and listen to these other people who've been through it before, and just knowing, wow, I'm not the only one. It does get bad, and but they made it through, so can I.
If you have the opportunity to take it as an opportunity to maybe learn and explore some things that you maybe didn't otherwise have the time for. Um, like if you are, forced to be down a lot, like don't just sit there, do nothing all the time. If you have access to some technology or some stuff, just like what Bobby was talking about last week, and doing some art, doing some reading, listening to audiobooks, like take advantage of it, because it's like a shitty situation, but it doesn't mean like it just has to be bad all the time. You could do some positive things too that will definitely benefit you while you're healing and recovering, but might also continue to positively affect you afterwards. And it sucks that you got to be down and you got to be dealing with this, and it might be more longer term, but that
Yeah.
also might be an opportunity where you have some extra time on your hands, and you can utilize that to do some other positive things in your life, whatever it may be. And learn about some new hobbies you might enjoy, learn some new skills, because those things will help you recover, but can also continue to positively affect you afterwards too, and can be very beneficial during
Mhm.
that process. Not easy,
Absolutely.
but
Not
take a close look at yourself, and figure out the things you like, whether it's nerdy stuff like video games or Magic the Gathering, or you want to like do some art, you want to like get into some books, like getting into board games, whatever it is. Technology nowadays, like with a computer, you can do almost
absolutely.
anything,
Mhm.
really.
Yeah.
Learn another language, and
That's a
it's
good.
we have a good listener on our cast here that's in the chat periodically having some health issues. And, I called him the other day and he answered, and I'm like, what are you up to? And he's like, listening to some relaxation tapes, as just
Yeah.
trying to relax here. I'm a little upset about, being down again today. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry to hear, but good little system to use when you're down, that you're, you know, use some relaxation tapes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meditation can be a very healthy, positive thing.
Absolutely.
Um, you don't need to be anywhere to meditate. Um, yeah, I it, it can just help, calm your mind, help organize some
Hmm.
thoughts. I'm not a master of meditation. I wish I could say that, but my
Yeah.
brain's too loud. Never seems to shut up even when I want it to.
It's hard. It's
Yeah,
harder than it looks, and it's harder than it is, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You think, oh, I just listen and I close my eyes and I relax and you have to focus. It really takes focus. But on the other side, as they say, laughter is the best medicine. Watch a stupid movie. Your favorite
yeah,
movie that you watched when you were a teen or whatever it is, just something to shift the focus off of your day-to-day situation and just, laugh at whoever, whatever it is, whatever movie it is that, always makes you laugh regardless. Ooh,
absolutely. We can still hear you, Michelle. I think your camera just went
I'm
away.
oh,
Um, there may just be like the camera button. If you tap it, um,
I'm back
there you go. Yeah, there you
there.
go. Absolutely. I mean, everything you just said. Like the things that'll make you feel good. Um, you know, give yourself reasons to smile and feel good, whether it's like treating yourself to whatever treat you might not otherwise, and put on your favorite stupid movie and just veg out and laugh. And like you put on your favorite podcast. Um, probably the
There
Live
you
to
go.
Roll podcast, have it every week at
Yeah.
3:30. But those things, I mean, it's just little respites, like little, breaks during the day. Gives your mind a break, focus on something else, and make yourself feel better. And compound that, do that a dozen times a day with different stuff that helps make you feel good. And if you don't know what that is, try to figure it out. um
Absolutely.
because learn what makes you feel good. If you really find yourself down and having a hard time, and really, not a lot of people are afraid to utilize technology and stuff, or don't even realize the potential of some of the things they have at their fingertips, even if you're down and out in bed. And if you need brainstorm ideas, reach out to me. I'll throw some at you. um,
Cool.
but those are all very good reminders. Remind yourself to feel good, be happy.
Yeah, man.
And don't
That's
be afraid to reach out to a professional either,
Oh, that. Yeah.
uh, when you reach that point that you're ready, and really does help. There
Yeah,
is no stigma on needing help. You reach out for what you need.
And
yeah,
maybe a good time to recognize that maybe you can reach out to a therapist and
Mhm.
seek professional help. It's okay to have a therapist. They do a lot of great work, and it's great to also talk to somebody that doesn't know you, doesn't know your situation, but can help you, um, get through some of these hard times by other techniques that they've gone to school for, and trying some of those new techniques that somebody else might not suggest, or somebody else being kind of blunt with you too, that not afraid to say it like it is, where sometimes where people are like kind of holding back because
Yeah.
they don't want to tell you the whole truth because it might upset you, but a therapist might just tell you like it is and keep it real.
It's
betterhealth.com
true.
sponsor our show.
Mhm.
um, no, but that's like a
Yep.
therapy service that you can sign up for via the internet. You end up calling and speaking to someone, and you can get it approved through your insurance. But they can offer video or phone therapy services as well. And in this day and
Absolutely.
age, especially for disabled individuals, traveling might not always be the best thing. And the situation we're talking about is, if you're down for a pressure wound, you are not likely going up and using your hour or two a day to go to a therapy appointment. But there are ways to get those services that don't require you even leaving your house. Don't require you
That's
getting up.
good.
You can do it over the phone or via Zoom, and whatever it is, video call nowadays. Like, we have the technology, and people are learning to utilize it more effectively, in more meaningful ways, and it can definitely be a very positive, full service when you're dealing with stuff like this.
I was
Yeah,
very
and
And
there.
lucky to
honestly,
have
go
a
ahead.
life coach who's actually a para herself. So I didn't have to go into all the background, all the, about the injury in my life. And she understood all of that. And we were just able to pick up, from what had happened, the series of the broken legs. And then I had a series of very close personal losses in my life that just threw me for a tailspin. And luckily, I had been in contact with her for a while, and she was offering these little free sessions just to give information as to what she did and all of that. And we clicked, and she really helped me through the most difficult times I think that I've ever been through personally.
Absolutely, and I mean that's how
That's
it
good.
happens. Like, I mean, if you're dealing with a pressure sore and you're down and out, in terms of like having to like take a while to recover, that's already more than most people can deal with on its own. You add any kind of normal life stress on top of that, which is bound to be because you're debilitated and in bed, recovering. It just compounds and adds on, and makes a bad
Absolutely.
situation worse. And like, it can build up and build up and build up until you feel like you're literally being smothered by the world. You're being smothered by all
Absolutely.
these
Yeah.
heavy negative things, and that you are. That's what's happening, and it's okay to feel the burden of that, and like, let yourself like be like, hey, I can't do this on my own. Like, I need to figure out some way to take some of these stresses off myself. I need to talk to some people to, like, maybe like
Yeah.
flip the script on them a little bit. And, it's just like what Peter said earlier. Like you're talking about things that are hurting you or stressing you out, and you talk to someone who's gone through it or going through it too. Oftentimes you end up laughing at it. Even if it's cynically laughing at it. But it can make yourself feel a little bit better. But the point is that you're absolutely justified in feeling the weight of the world. And I just want to reiterate too to everybody listening. We deal with non-normal stressors every day. It's people living with disabilities in a social environment that doesn't make it easy, and that we deal with accessibility issues. We deal with lack of services. We deal with lack of healthcare, inaccessibility to healthcare and equipment and stuff. Just the normal pain and fatigue and stress of our disability is enough, and then you compound the stresses of the world. I mean, we're living in a really tough time right now, you guys, and that there's economic pressure, there's global instability, there's lots of negativity in the media and the press and stuff. Give yourself a break, give yourself some perspective. It's okay to take a minute, try to step away from all this. Just realize that there's lots and lots of little stressors that we may not even be recognizing right now that can be adding on and compounding to all the heavy stuff we already got to deal with. So everybody, give yourself a break, give yourself some credit, figure out whatever it is to treat yourself, make you feel good, forget about these stressors, pull yourself away from the negativity and, incorporate some positivity into your life. It's important to do that now more than ever. It's important to reach out to your loved ones and your friends and your therapists and the people that provide you support now more than ever. Just want to remind everybody of that, because there is a lot of stuff going on that kind of can compound on what we're already dealing with. And I don't want anyone to forget about that, because sometimes when you realize it and, can see and recognize it, it's like, holy shit, I didn't even realize why I was feeling so bad. But, it's just a lot going on right now, and it's a fact. It's just a reality of our life.
We're not immune to all the regular life crap that happens just because we have a spinal cord injury.
Absolutely.
As Tim says, we're already dealing with enough. Just add those external pressures and all of that are enough to, And it's okay one day. You know what? I'm not going to watch the news today. I'm not going to listen to. I'm just going to be, shut it out for a minute, for a day, And and as he says, you have to pat yourself on the back sometimes. I tell my women's group, you know what, ladies, you should be proud because you show up, you get up, you work, you do, deal with this injury and everything. And you're still, you're still going, you're still living, you're still making the most of your life. And for those of you who were able to, get up today and get out and do something, those of you dealing with injuries long-term in bed, hey, you got up again today and you said, you know what, I'm going to get through this day. Come hell or high water, I'm going to get through this day. And you do. And then you do it all over again,
Absolutely.
He's not to give up. Do not give up.
Everybody, pat yourself on the back, because Michelle said it. You are all kings and queens out there, living life, doing your thing. I mean, y'all being here supporting us, that helps me moving, helps inspire me. So, just want to, say that again. Michelle said it. Give yourself some extra love, because y'all deserve it. Pat said you listen to scripture. Helps when you find, right author, and, those words can help resonate with you. Whenever that is for you, whether it be religion, it can definitely be very powerful and meaningful and healing and helpful. For me and my sister, it'd probably be listening to some Harry Potter, some Jim Dale audiobooks or something, some escape from reality, some reassurance, some, other kinds of positive stories that can help make us feel better. But find that for you. Whatever it may be, it can be super helpful. I think it's the internet. There can also be some very negative, grifty, shady people out there that might be looking to take advantage. So also tread cautiously. Don't let anybody, take advantage of you, because unfortunately we're living in a world where people do try to take advantage of people in less than normal situations, because it can be easier. So be mindful. Of what you're doing. But that being said, there are tons of great services.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead,
back
Bobby.
to the instead of the internet, go back to those audiobooks or what they're saying. You know, we have some good ones that rely on your faith, rely on prayer, and rely on on Jesus. If if that's what you seek and that helps you, it helps so many people. It helps me, and
Mm-hmm.
faith is a big thing that can definitely get us through a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah,
And
Daryl,
Yeah.
DJ said positive affirmations too. Like anything, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think anything positive is good. Anything, like dwelling on negative, getting depressed, all that stuff. I feel like slows healing when you're more
It
when you're
does
in a
stress to the
uplifted
body.
mood.
It
Yeah.
does.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and they say it when you have stress to the body, it slows down your healing, and it's a
Yeah.
proven fact. So to add on your stress is not going to help. Healing from broken legs, pressure sores, UTIs, it's only going to compound things. So definitely looking at how can I de-stress myself? What is going to make me get out of this mindset? Is it
Mm-hmm.
audiobooks? Is it learning a new language? Is it faith? Is it whatever it may be? It's get out and get on the right side so your body can feel that euphoria of of the good vibes that will help the good healing. I know
Yeah.
whenever I'm sick or going through something like this, I've done this a couple times at night. I breathe in good, and then I breathe out bad. Good, bad. And that when I breathe out that
Mm-hmm.
bad, I'm thinking of anything that might keep that healing process from happening. So I breathe out anything negative out and I breathe only in positive.
yeah. I've
yeah,
heard of that, and I've tried that, and yeah, I think that's a good thing too. I do a lot of just breathing for calming and stuff. Like if I am feeling stressed, and like I'll take a second, slow my breathing, do some deep breaths, and like that for me helps always. Like I don't know, breathing. I'm a big believer in, just for different things. Lots of different things can benefit.
Absolutely.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
And I
and
think, kind of bottom line, you have to just kind of give into the fact that, yeah, it's going to take 6 weeks to heal. There is no way around it. Okay. So, all right, now I'm stuck here in bed. So, what am I going to do to get through that day to not to, fall into that black hole? And you've got to make up your mind that you're going to get through this, and you've got to find your own way to manage, even though we share tips and all this and that, but everybody, copes with things in their own way. And as Tom says, find your thing. You find that one thing. You find that source of motivation, the source of inspiration and hope that's going to keep you going day by day. And that's the thing. You don't think about 6 weeks from now. You think about, okay, I'm up today. I got through it. Now tomorrow's another day.
absolutely. Acceptance is essential for any kind of significant recovery.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to live in reality. We all got to accept our situation, and not accepting it, maybe lying to yourself a little bit. It might make you feel better for a minute, but when that health issue gets worse, and you keep on ignoring it, then it's still going to require attention, maybe even more now. And you're better off accepting the situation, accepting the facts as they are, and it's like, hey, this is what we got to do to deal with them. And
Yeah.
it's usually not any one thing. Unfortunately, I
Yeah.
call it like my my algorithm to feeling better. It's got a lot of
Yeah.
steps in the process, but and they include like good music and foods that make me feel good and friends that make me feel good and people that make me feel good and movies and things like that, that can all help make me feel better, things that I like. But it's kind of setting yourself up for success and trying to keep the ball rolling and, having your mechanisms and like, realizing like, okay, I've been feeling too down for a little while. I gotta try to do something to lift myself up. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, it's just what
I think
everybody
just
tries
finding
to do.
that silver lining, regardless how thin that might be, it just, okay, I'm home, I'm sick in bed. Okay, but at least I'm not in the hospital. I'm in my own bed and my own surroundings. I'm not having to eat damn hospital food. I can get, if I feel like having something, hey, get somebody to get it for you or make it for you or whatever. So that's one saving grace there, that you're not stuck in the hospital for weeks at a time. You're at home. So that's one blessing there.
Absolutely. And you said a key word, treat yourself. Treat yourself to something. Yesterday, Mondays is like I have an aide come over, so I get up early. It's my 2 hours of being in my chair. So I mean, I'm not able to get into the shower because I can't get into my shower chair. So it is a body cleaning day, and do it just as much as you can, like a shower. And she really helps me out. And then I get in my chair and get under the sink. And I mean, pretty much the floor is wet. And thank God I have a bathroom that has tile everywhere that just goes down into the drainer. And I just really wash up and felt really good. So I'm like feeling really good, back in bed. That sucks. It's only 10:30 in the morning and I'm already back. But hey, what can I do to treat myself today? You know what I haven't
just
had in
waking up every
3.5
morning,
years?
it just kind of helps you wake up and feel better for
Yeah,
yourself.
and it did. And now I'm feeling good. So I treated myself to something I hadn't had in like 4 years. I'm like, I'm going to have a hot dog today. And there's this place not too far from here that makes the best Chicago dogs. And so Tom, Shawn, when you guys hit Chicago, go have one of these Chicago dogs.
I'm going to get myself a Chicago dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try something in Chicago. So.
Chicago style pizza, deep dish, baby. Let's go.
Sauerkraut dog and a Chicago dog. Can't beat it. Mm-hmm. And it was great. Yeah. I felt sick afterwards, but hey, for the moment, I was eating a good hot dog.
Worth it. Thank you, Nicole, for joining us. Sorry you're feeling crappy. That's kind of what we're talking about today, is how we cope in the midst of all that stuff. But we appreciate you being here, and hope you can go back in the episode and hopefully maybe find some of what we said a little helpful, make you feel a little bit better. But I really appreciate you being here.
And also, real quick, our friend Eric replied, and I actually had talked to Eric about, he had one of the most long-term crazy recoveries from wounds and things, like craziest stories you've ever heard. So we maybe will have him on for another show one day just to tell his whole story. But because it's incredible. But because that's probably its own thing.
Yeah.
And that was a long-term recovery. So.
Yeah. And if you haven't
thanks for joining, Eric.
If you haven't watched Parks and Recreation, Tom and Donna in that show, they do a treat yourself day every year. Where they just take one day and they treat themselves all day long. So do yourself a favor, watch that show, have a good laugh, and then get inspired to go have a treat yourself day. Me and my sister have been doing it for years, and it's so amazing. So I say definitely go for it.
I might not be alive if I did that kind of a day.
Yeah. And just to touch on Nicole there, having to deal with multiple issues when you're dealing with pain is so wearing, so debilitating on its own, and sometimes the meds that they give you to cope with it, make you feel worse. I did have a period before the broken leg period when I was dealing with some intestinal issues and they couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. I was in constant pain, curled up in my bed. I would cry daily. I would beg God, if this is the way my life is going to be, please take me, because I just can't deal with this. It was just unbearable. And
you dealt with that for years.
It was the better part of a year, yeah. But when I was down, it was close to 6 months. I just was in bed and just, I just eating very, very simple carbs because that's all that I could keep in and all of that. And, talk about being afraid of having a bowel accident when you're out. I couldn't even leave my bed. I just could not keep anything in. So on top of that, pain, constant accidents, can't eat, can't keep anything down. I was like, I want out. If this is the way my life is going to be, I want out. But luckily, little by little, they were trying different things and all of that, and things, slowly did get better. But I've been there where you're like, I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore. And then you take that deep breath and you reach out for that little bit of hope and that little bit of motivation that keeps you going, and you keep on going. but it's really tough sometimes, really dark.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
that sounds.
It's like, I don't know, you said it, Michelle. It can be at that time like the hardest thing in the world, the hardest thing you ever dealt with, you might
Yeah,
ever deal with. So give yourself some credit, for
yeah,
what you do,
yeah.
in those moments, because it really is the hardest thing in the world when you're dealing with it. It's just the way it is. Um, don't forget to give yourself some love and some credit, because it's so easy to get down on yourself and feel shitty and beat yourself up more when you're feeling negative. I am the king of that, and I'm really, really, really been trying hard lately to fix that and not give myself too much shit when I'm already struggling and having a hard time. Yeah. But self awareness is a son of a bitch sometimes. But it's how we grow and it's how we learn,
Yeah.
and it's the only way that we change. I mean, it's true. It's true. Like, sorry,
Mhm.
don't mean to like, hope it's still on topic, but it's like definitely something I really, really deal with. I find myself when I'm down and I'm struggling, I'm having a hard time. Like, that's when I'm the hardest on myself, and it's not fair to me. And I know other people do that too. It's just easy to. It's just easy to,
But
you
it's
know,
true,
if you
Tom.
don't
It's
if you don't direct that towards someone else, you direct it towards yourself. It's like, I don't know what it
yeah,
is.
we're nobody's harder on us than we are. And it's true, you have those moments where it's just, God, you think of everything you have to deal with and get through and all of that, and it's like, and my life sucks and it's so hard and and I'm tired and I don't want to do this anymore and all of that, and how come I can't be stronger, how come I can't blah blah blah, a million reasons to beat ourselves up. But at the
Yeah,
end of the day, you know what, you made it through that day. So
absolutely.
I
It's
tell
what we
my
said.
ladies at the end of the meeting, go find a mirror and look at yourself and just say, "Damn, I'm proud of you."
Heck yeah,
Yeah,
everybody do that.
That's really good
absolutely.
advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think of friends or other people that you know, and I know you're like, "Damn, you wouldn't last a day in my shoes."
But
And
That's
oh, I wouldn't be able to. Oh, if that happened to me, oh my God, I wouldn't, survive. Well, you don't know what you're made of and what you're, capable of doing and getting through until you're stuck in it, and you have to. And
and also
we're-
give yourself some credit in that, like, everybody's situation is contextual. Like, my situation might not be like the other guys. And like, don't compare yourself too much and get down on yourself. Like, you know everybody's feelings and what we're dealing with, it's all individual, it's all very personal. It's like, don't get too caught up in comparing yourself to other individual situations. You do what you need to do to heal and take care of yourself, and like, figure out your situation is. It's not like anybody else's, and we can definitely take comfort and like, take solace from other people's experiences and stories. But like, don't give yourself too much shit. Like, if you're a parent compared to a quad, deal with this, or whatever it is. Like, everyone deals with this individually, personally. Every situation is very unique, and has a certain kind of context surrounding it. So, whoever you are, whatever you're dealing with, if you're struggling, just give yourself some credit. Um, just like what Bobby and Michelle and everyone just said.
yeah, 100%. It's hard. It could be hard, and I think when you're going through it, it's hard to see, like, how strong you are and how, for doing it all. But like Michelle said, just take a second, take a breath, look in the mirror, and like, feel good about yourself, because stuff is hard. And
Yep.
also, I was gonna say, how I roll mentioned in the chat. What do we think of, like, an audio tech support type of thing for people dealing with pressure wounds, like a virtual type of space? And I think that would be great. Like some sort of national internet, whatever. If you have a wound, you're in bed, some sort of community we could start. I don't know. I don't know if there's
We
anything
Yeah,
like that.
we
I
already kind
think.
of have a good foundation for that. I don't know what Bobby's gonna say. I'm gonna let you talk though. But just for the
Oh
support
no!
groups and
Before you
science and
started,
stuff.
go for it. You beat me to it. Go.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, we already have pretty good foundation with that, in terms of, like, the Triumph Foundation, all of the groups that are ran through that organization are now video, meaning like anybody in the world could tune in. As to having a specific pressure sore related group, I've been thinking about something like that for Live to Roll. Like I would love to start like a maybe just like a blog or like a board that we could all post our experiences, kind of respond to more in real time. I've been trying to think about something like that, and maybe get it going. And I would love to have a place where we could leave like audio, videos, things like that too. Um, but working on it, dude. There are things like that that already exist. Really recommend if you haven't checked out some of the support groups, because those can be that. A lot of individuals that attend those are dealing with pressure sores or have dealt with pressure sores in the past. And then, yeah, we're working on the Live to Roll space too, where I think we could extend the conversation outside of our podcast. I want to get that rolling, but just got a
That
lot
would
of
be
things
nice.
happening right now.
But at any
Sorry.
time, anybody's needing a text, message us on Instagram. I helped somebody over the weekend from the show, and it made me feel really good that I'm helping this gentleman out. We're helping each other out, and
Mhm.
so he hit me up on Instagram, and I said, "Yeah, give me a call on Sunday. Let's talk." And it wasn't about him feeling down or anything, about something else that are past subjects, but that's what we're here for, of our wisdom of um, almost 100 years in this, of those, us four that, and it's great. Nicole said, hey, I started following you on Instagram, Michelle, so you have a new follower that maybe Nicole
Okay.
would reach out to you, or, so reach
Yeah,
out to us.
ladies, feel free to reach out. Our women's group is meeting tonight. If you want to join us, shoot me a message.
Yeah.
There
So
you
Nicole,
go.
great thing. Joining Michelle's support group, she'll get you the link. And that's what's great about virtual, And so I think the text thing would be great. And what Tom was saying, having somebody live all the time, waiting for somebody to come into the room, that might be a little more
That'd
difficult.
be hard. But yeah, no, like some sort of like a forum where people could post type of thing when not live, but I don't know,
Yeah,
something cool.
language has like a certain power and like uniqueness to it. Writing things down, like a permanence and like telling your story, I think, can be a really meaningful, powerful thing. And to have a space where we can all share our accounts in a little bit more detail and, a little bit more personality where other people can go and, read and relate to those experiences and stuff. I mean, it's really like what we try to do here on the show. Like my favorite part of this like whole podcast thing is the human stories that we kind of get to listen to and hear along with a lot of the informative stuff. But I really want to try to create a space where we could access that all the time. And I want to start writing to it and sharing some of my more personal stories and a little bit more detail and stuff, and have a place where we can aggregate it together and all tell our story together. I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah, you actually asked
But
what
we're
about a
working on it.
Discord server? You know more about
Um,
that than
yeah, I mean, I'm on Discord right now. We could definitely start a Live to Roll Discord server. I do want it to kind of be like a board, like a blog type thing where we could post and have accounts and kind of have something permanently up and permanently stored somewhere. Discord chats tend to flow on forever and disappear. I don't know if there's a way to like types on Discord, but no, I appreciate that. And I think it would be cool to have a literal Discord because it's something that it's a global, like a group conversation we could have and chime into anytime. You, me, and Bobby could all be a part of it. Anybody could sign up and join it. So I'll work on that. I'll set one up. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. See what we can
I
come
don't
up
want to
with.
keep Bobby on the call too long.
yeah.
And Michelle, we've taken plenty of her time as well. But I don't
Yeah,
want
well,
to take away from any Bobby's precious time up. But
Right.
Michelle, I just wanted to say thank you again for your incredible insight, your incredible kindness, all of your knowledge, and everything that you brought to our show. We truly, truly appreciate you taking the time to be here.
thanks for inviting me.
And
And
Nicole just
Bobby,
said
Yeah.
getting her tattoo. She's got to send that tattoo into us, so we can definitely
yeah,
Oh,
take a look at it.
heck
all
yeah.
right.
And real quick too,
Bobby,
you
I
I
was
was
just gonna
gonna say
say a little update. How you feeling? Things still trending positive?
Everything's turning positive. Actually, thanks to everybody reaching out on Instagram. A couple suggestions. I really appreciate that. And one thing that they decided to change was stop the packing and put in the honey. And everyone was telling me about good honey stuff. I've heard about great things about it, and started that on Friday. And on Monday, the nurse came back and went, I know Wednesday's the measuring day, but I got to measure this. It seems smaller, and she did, and it healed almost double from the week before. Not even a week yet. In 5 days, it healed double what it did.
Is that changing doing the honey versus the packing?
Probably, huh?
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to say, but they just wanted to introduce something different.
Yeah,
maybe that's cool, man.
That's amazing
awesome
stuff. Very cool.
That's
that,
cool,
Tom?
man. Oh, you just said the Manuka honey was amazing. I think.
Oh yeah,
I think it's amazing stuff. For anybody that like hasn't heard of that, please Google. You can get on Amazon cheap if you're dealing with any kind of wound. Again, only go off the advice of your doctor and your wound care specialist, nurse who's coming. Don't trust me because I'm not a professional.
Yeah, no, make sure it's being ordered by somebody else than yourself.
It can be very helpful. And what it does, it can just provide like a base, like a scaffolding for your tissue to start to regrow and, rebuild a little bit more effectively versus packing a wound with gauze and stuff. But it can only be done when you're ready. It's just like what Bobby said. And again, only follow the advice of your wound care nurse and your doctor because that's the only way to successfully deal with that. We don't understand or know the context of the severity of any wound out there, and definitely are not giving medical advice. Don't want to give the wrong advice.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you definitely want to consult your doctor.
Yeah, with everybody's advice last week, I wanted to try so many. I'm just glad that it just happened to be 2 days later. They came in and all right, now I'm on board. So heard many great things from you guys. So thank you.
Awesome.
Sweet. That's good to hear, man. I'm happy.
Do we gotta hit up our sponsor real quick?
That's what I was gonna say. Do you want to do a quick?
Yeah, let me just do it real quick. Big shout out to Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals is a rehabilitation equipment company out here in Southern California. We know a lot of these individuals that work there. They're parts of the community themselves. They give back a lot to the community. But most of all, they are the best in understanding the needs when it comes to what kind of equipment you need. And they specialize in working with your insurance to get it to you as to little cost as possible. And their sister company, Urology Professionals, is national. So if you are anywhere in the U.S. and you're looking for a urological supply company, give them a shout. They are a sister company of Mobility Pros. Same people, amazing people. They do a lot to give back to the community. They hire individuals from the community, and they really do take the extra effort to understand your needs and try to help you out navigating the madness of the healthcare system. So let them know Live to Roll sent you if you are looking for a change and you do decide to head over there because they help us out. We'd love to hear that we sent you. And lots of love to our sponsors. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate everything.
Bobby, is it the Medi honey you're using or the straight Manuka?
They put in, I believe, I'll double check for you, but I believe it's the Medi honey they used.
The Medi honey.
Honey?
Yeah. And just if you do decide to try with the advice of your wound care or your doctor, make sure the product that you're getting is pure, because there's, they mix a lot of these honeys with a bunch of other crap and corn syrup and all of that. Make sure you are using the 100% Manuka, natural Manuka honey.
All right. That's Nicole just sent me some of her tattoos. Looking great, Nicole.
Nice.
Thank you.
I got to get into the tat game. Well, we appreciate you guys. Peace and love to everybody that's watching. Love you guys so much for coming and hanging out. We hope you enjoyed the show. Appreciate you taking some time to be here and be in the chat. If you haven't liked the video, please do. If you think someone might benefit from it or might like it and they're not watching it, please take the time to share it. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, and that puts us in an area where we could, a little bit more easily attain some sponsors and stuff. 10K is a big mark, and we only got 500 to go. And before the end of June, we're going to meet that goal, and you're going to help us out by subscribing
Come
right
on, guys.
now.
Come on.
We appreciate
Tell
you.
your friends about it. Tell your friends, hey, if anything, just help my boys out and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're watching right now, make sure you hit that like button. That also helps out. And we're gonna do
also,
some
one
great
more
things.
thing is we will be in Chicago next weekend. Tom will be on the road next Tuesday. If he does join the show, he'll be joining from a train on his way across the country. And we will be in Chicago. So if you're in the area and want to go to the Abilities Expo, June 24th to 26th, come out, visit us, say hi. The Abilities Expo is a great event. So definitely come out and see everything it has to offer.
Yeah, we're going to be tearing up Chi-Town. We are going to have the whole Live to Roll family out there. We're going to be hanging
Unfortunately,
with a ton of
Bobby
cool
is still going to be healing, so we're going to be FaceTiming him, doing some virtual stuff with Bob.
He's going to be there with us, whether he wants to or not. Just going to be, a little camera set up all day long, hanging at the table.
I'll get on. I'll get my face there somehow. Tom, I did happen to send a video last week to my wound nurse, and she heard your story about your train ride, and she just went, no, tell him not to. I'm like, I think he's in good hands with,
Well, here's what it's going to be. We're going to be recording it, and, our goal is to educate how to do it successfully, how to, take on trips like this and, do things like this, by limiting your risk and figuring out, how it is possible. Again, like not trying to scare anybody or like incentivize anybody to do anything that they don't think that, that might put them at risk. I'm very well aware of the risk, weighing them considerably, not doing this alone and going to be taking lots of measures and precautions. I really got the willies that scared out of me last week talking to Bobby about how easy some of this stuff can happen. And honestly, it was great little reminder.
You'll luckily have your mom with you, who's a good nurse, good caregiver.
And my sister in the chat. What up? Here we go.
Test yourself and take a short train ride. LA to Ventura or Orange County to San Diego or something. Just a day trip to see. I've taken a couple of train trips that have been 4 or 5 hours long, and it's been great. And I haven't had any issues, but traveling with my family, so it is a cool way to get around it.
And that's exactly what I did too. I did a weekend in San Diego. It was like 5 hours each way. Now this is going to be 41 hours each way, which is a considerable jump. We're like 20 times longer each way. But it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great.
It is.
And I've done stuff like this before. I've known people that have done stuff like this before successfully, and we're gonna make some cool content. So that's most of all what you should be excited about. Some fun videos, some cool videos, some really cool content coming out. We're calling out Amtrak. Y'all need to make some upgrades to the national public transportation system.
There you go.
Because it's rather lacking, and I'm really excited to highlight some of the areas where they can work on some stuff.
Yeah, and just do your homework. Be prepared. Know what you're going into. And then that'll hopefully lessen the unexpected things that happen.
Absolutely.
Have fun. Sounds awesome.
And gotta be loosey goosey. You gotta, unexpected things will come, but you gotta be flexible and be able to handle them as they come. And we're gonna be talking about this.
But be prepared for anything.
There you go. There's only so many backups you can have.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I guess we can we'll wrap it up, and hopefully you guys will get to see a little bit of Tom next week on the trip there. And
awesome.
No doubt.
But and Michelle, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on.
You know what? Congrats, guys. This is awesome what you're doing here, and just it's a great show.
Well, we really appreciate you. It's really awesome to hear that. Honestly, like not that I have any doubt. Like I know we're doing cool stuff, but like. To hear that from someone like Michelle, who's an amazing example of like doing stuff like this for a really long time, not on the internet but in person, it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very awesome to hear, so appreciate that.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Have fun in Chicago.
Thank you.
You can stay on, Michelle.
I will. Take care.
Live to roll, everybody.